Good morning and welcome to Comics and Coffee with Cliff. Look at Rockin Robbie in the house.
Hey man, happy to be here. Station, pop, pop, boom.
I'm never ready for station. I'm never ready for station. And I know what it is now. I used to not know. I used to think like, is this a Star Wars thing? I'm like, do I need to rewatch Andor? You know, and now I'm like,
it's an Andor reference, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, no, and the Andor reference is on protocol or on something. But like Andor's actually like Andor's on my list of sleeper hits, because I was like, I'm with everyone else. At episode 3, I was like, I'm ready to check out. And then episode 4 took this very intriguing turn. And then the next thing you know, I was like, oh my God, I love this. I'm like, it's like political intrigue, drama, espionage, Star Wars. Yes. And, and then like me and a handful of friends all agreed that we're into this. And then the rest of the internet wasn't. But
yeah. I only watched the first like 3 episodes of it, so maybe I needed to go back and get to 4.
You need to get through 4 and 5, because 4 starts to twist the perspective, right? And 5 actually, and it starts to it twists the perspectives and lays the foundation, and then 5, boom, starts the trajectory begins.
Okay.
Right. And really, it was one of those things where like, okay, we're gonna review it for better or for worse. Right, so that's how we ended up enjoying it. The other one that we reviewed for better or for worse over on the Council of Comics was Willow, right? And let me tell you, episodes 1 and 2 were brutal. There was lots of this looks like a CW show jokes being thrown around. Then episode 4 was brilliant. Then by episode 5, we embraced all the characters except me. I couldn't stand the princess, and every freaking episode, I was like, this is the last episode of the season. If she does not turn it around, I'm like, I am so done with her. And of course, they turned her around. But I mean, it took her story arc took the whole season, and I was like, girl. So anyhow, that's my take on Willow. We have 42 comments in the chat. Let's say good morning to a few people. Two Gun Pedro, good morning. Nice to see you back. You're in the house. Good morning. Fable, what's up? I'm sorry, Station. And then I'm doing it wrong. There we go. And then, oh my God, Pedro Casca, I love you. Christina Payne, you are awesome. Canadian survivalist, good morning. Chris, the comic vet, who's going to be our guest on November 30th, my after Thanksgiving special. Oh my God. Scotty Vaughn, thank you for joining us. Good morning, brother. Joe, I love you. If you survive me, you can survive anything. Good morning, Brian LCS. Brian LCS, creator of the CBC Awards, of which I am now a 2-time winner. And Robbie, listen, Robbie, at least I have a couple to talk about. You have 80, okay? You've got 80 of those fuckers. I'm surprised. I'm surprised the back of your wall just isn't like 18 trophies.
Oh, well, I didn't win any this year, so congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, listen, well, one thing that I suspect is helpful is last year it was just the one category for us. This year it was only 2 categories. I found the people that didn't find too much success, they were in too many categories, right? And so, and you know how people want to spread the love? So they try to spread the love and they think, oh, well, you're going to make it for that. And then that's not the reality of what's going to happen. And
that's a good theory. That's a great theory. Yeah.
But yeah, it is one theory. Good morning, DJ Wise. Oh, look at that. PCP Army badge. There we go. Love that.
Those damn guys.
So at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll be on John's channel for John's Comics for Kids as we open each other's Comics Curing Cancer packages that we won from one another that are both X-Men themed.
Ah, very appropriate. That's cool.
That is, just the odd. So he was just, I had my prizes on a wheel, and he happened to win the X-Men themed one. And then I was actively going after his X-Men themed box on his show later that weekend, and voila.
A match made in X heaven.
Of course it is. Oh, and of course, always here first, Las Cruces. Thank you for being here. Okay. I think I've tried to catch up on all 48. Nope, 49 messages. Hey, good morning, Canadian survivalists. Oh, Joe, thank you for becoming a member. All right, so I did add memberships, but my memberships, super chats, etc., from now through January are going to go to support the Hyde Park Food Pantry in Hyde Park, New York. So if you want to know where the 70% of what's left over after YouTube takes from me is going, it will be supporting the Hyde Park Food Pantry, which, of course, during the holidays, they really need it. I just took someone there this Friday, and I immediately noticed there just seemed to be less in the bag, you know? And now the Thanksgiving rush is coming, and they're doing a Thanksgiving pickup and delivery service. So if you absolutely needed it delivered, the Council of Local Churches decided who would get it delivered to, and otherwise they're arranging pickup. For one of my clients, I'm doing the pickup. So all of that, they're handling arrangements. And then, of course, they got to make it through Christmas. And I want to get them off to a nice start for the new year because, you know, once the holidays pass, people tend to forget all about food pantries and everything. And ironically, although the church helps them with the Thanksgiving and Christmas stuff, the church is their landlord. They are not affiliated with the church. They are an independent 501c, and they're working with that. And they're partnered with another 501c, the Hyde Park Community Garden, where they grow fresh fruits and vegetables. And any money they receive goes to making purchases of fresh fruits and vegetables from ShopRite, so people have access to items that are not available from the community garden. So thank you for listening to all of that. I hope you found some. If you would like direct links to their website, I'll be happy to provide them. Hit me up at CliffNY in the DMs on Instagram. But Robbie, you are here, sir. You are it. You are the moment. You are the day. You're
Yay!
I gotta pull up my prepared questions for you.
Prepared questions. Oh man, nice.
Yes, and so I did a blend. So those of you in the chat, let's do something ridiculous. Oh, Fable, thank you for the $1.99. I appreciate you. All right, so chat, let me know real quick. Put a 1 if you want me to start with a serious question. Put a 2 if you want a fun question while I dig these up. I was really going for it last night. I really was. And Jesus, come on. There we go. Oh, yes, you have your own title card in my phone.
Oh, nice.
I love it. Let's see. I got
I'm
1,
so
2.
Honored.
We got a 2. All right, so far we got 1 person for a non-serious question. Thanks for your commitment, everyone in the chat.
Phil's the only one who cares. Apparently.
Yeah, I know. Phil, you're the man. Also, Stu, welcome. Good morning. And Christina is on the job as always. Also, Robbie, your link is pinned to the top of the chat. So please, if you have been living under a rock and have not checked out Pop Culture Philosophers, please go check it out. You know, these guys do a great job. And this guy's personality, just shines across the board. And this gentleman's personality shines across the board. And it's clear why he's a CBCA award, house sweeper, not this year, but in other years, 3 year sweeper,
Just 1 year, man. Just 1 year was the big year, I didn't win nothing the first year. I won 1 the second, and then last year we won 5, this year 0. So
last year was so last year was my first year, so you have to understand the impression that's been left on my mind. Oh, Stu, thank you for joining. Thank you so much. Thank you. So you have to understand the impression that's left in my mind is you're this multi-community award winner.
I mean, I am a multi-award winner, so that's dope. And if we don't take it, you don't think we take advantage of that? You're crazy.
Oh no, we're council's taking advantage of it. I can't. So we're ordering extra trophies because we want everyone who partakes to be honored this year. So we're waiting for the extra trophies to come in, and then you better believe that these things are going to be like all over the place.
Yeah, it's on my business card. It says award-winning YouTube channel. So
yes.
Very nice. Yeah.
Yes.
It's impressive. It's impressive when you hand that out to somebody and they're like, "You won an award?" I'm like, "I won several."
Yeah, it is. It is. All right. So, okay, we're going with a 2. All right, Christina Payne also agreed I'm going with a 2. Wellbore, good morning. All right. Battle of the Bizarre. Who would win in a cooking competition? Thanos or Skeletor?
Ooh, that's interesting. I would go with Skeletor. I think Skeletor would win at a cooking competition because I don't know why. I just feel like Skeletor is more at home a lot, you know, like he's at Snake Mountain, just kind of chilling out. He's got to provide food for all of his minions, you know, all of his evil warriors. Thanos is just out there traipsing across the galaxy, chasing after death, you know. But then again, maybe it's Thanos because maybe he's like, now I'm thinking about it too much. Maybe Thanos is the better cook because he's trying to court death. So one of the things dudes try to do to impress, you know, potential partners is to try to cook something, right? But
Yeah.
then again, yeah, I'm going to go with Thanos actually, because Thanos has probably at least watched a few YouTube videos to try to impress death with some kind of like baked spaghetti or something simple like that. Skeletor, I don't know, man. He's not even just skin and bones. He's just bones. So maybe
His
that.
face is just bones.
Oh, you're right. He does have blue skin. That blue
Right.
skin's
So,
unhealthy. Yeah,
yeah.
Thanos. Thanos.
But here's the thing, right? So does Skeletor even have taste buds anymore? Right? So that's
true.
fact. Now, on the other hand, Skeletor is a spicy ass bitch, and spicy bitches know how to cook.
Yeah, you're right about that. He's way more like spicy than
So, but Thanos, you have multiple points. Thanos knows how to court death. Thanos has raised a child, right? He raised Gamora. So he must know how to make a good stew or something.
Yes.
You know? And we can be certain that Thanos, you know, can still use his taste buds.
That is true.
You know?
Yeah, I'll go with Thanos, but this is kind of debatable. It could go either way. It's like a coin toss, probably.
I like it, but I really enjoyed how you went for Thanos. I really do. All right, let's follow up with a more serious question here. What's the most embarrassing thing that you've ever said or done in front of a creator you admire?
Okay. What's the most embarrassing thing I've said in front of a creator I admire? Man, I don't. Geez, I'm trying to think. Well, there was the time that I was absolutely gushing over Rom V, the very first time I ever had him on the show. That was kind of embarrassing. I was like talking about how beautiful his hair was and how big of a fan I was. Like you know how you remember that SNL bit where it was like Chris Farley would be the interviewer and he'd be like, "You remember that moment?" and blah blah blah. That was cool, right? That was me the first time Rom V was on. So probably that. As far as just a celebrity though, I met what's her name? Oh man, Melinda Clark. She was in Return of the Living Dead Part 3, right?
Oh.
And she's the zombie that's like nude throughout and it's got like safety pins and stuff like all up in her, like all these crazy gnarly piercings. And I watched that movie when I was like 12 years old and it made me feel all kinds of ways, right? So I wanted to share that story with her. And I basically told her that she was like bait material when I was like 12 and she didn't seem to like that very much. It was awkward. It got awkward really quick. So
I've made a mistake once. The reaction that I got from the person was much more gentle, but I know your pain. I know your pain. Oh my goodness.
Okay. She didn't like tell me to get the fuck out or nothing like that. You know, she was just like,
you got the eyes. You got the eyes, right?
Yeah, got those eyes. No, and I'm like, whatever, man. You're selling topless photos of you that you're signing. Come on, you know what's going on.
I know, but they don't need to hear it. Good morning, Rich. They don't need to hear it. And that's something I learned.
So we both had that.
Yeah, but the person that shared that with me was very very in good gracious. You know, because dudes just usually handle that stuff very differently. Most of them don't even know how to react initially. You know, and one guy, I didn't even have to say anything to him. He was just like mid speech while I was going up to his table, and he said something about the fact that he's grown comfortable with the fact that lots of young men, you know, had their sexual awakening thanks to his thanks to his shirtless TV appearances.
Yeah. That's flattering. That's gotta be flattering, man. I don't know. I'm a spicy dude, man. I really, if there's a hot woman or a hot dude, like I'm all about it, man. I'm like, can I touch your chest? Like, it's so lumpy.
Oh, I did touch well, oh my God, Smallville.
Tom Welling?
Tom Welling. I did touch Tom Welling at Terrificon because Tom Welling, I was like, what are you doing? And he goes, what do you mean? What I was like, dude, you were like, can I just touch this? I was like, you are so beefy, like beyond. I'm like, what are you working out for? I'm like, oh my God. I was like, if you're doing it for you, I was like, I love it. I love it all day. And so I was just like, oh my God.
He still hasn't gotten over the fact that he's never actually been Superman in a movie, probably, and he's probably just pushing real hard for that or something, right?
I don't know. I feel like he's kind of made his peace with that, but I am damn sure if they called him up and said, oh, we need you for this multiverse moment, he's like, I'm ready. I'm ready. Hold up. Let me put down this tractor trailer I've been bench pressing with.
He was getting jacked for the Flash, and it just didn't work out, apparently.
He was getting jacked for the Flash?
I don't know. I'm just saying, what if he was doing that and instead they got a CG Nick Cage instead? So
you know what's his name got jacked for the TV crossover. Brandon Routh. He got super jacked to play whatever
Superman, right?
Superman. He got super jacked. Yeah. And I was like, damn. And the way he grabbed new Superman, I was like, oh daddy. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, oh my God, I'm like spitting his throat. And like, here's a question that's for me. I am always worried about YouTube being too vulgar on this channel, blah, blah, blah. Like, as someone who has gone up and down the scales on your channel, what do you recommend? Should I just not worry about it?
My recommendation is be yourself and don't compromise it. And who cares, right? As long as it's tasteful, like say whatever the fuck you want. Like, don't worry about it too much. As
it's tasteful. Listen, we're really bordering on what tasteful is around here. now available in the online shop. Also, proceeds going to the food pantry.
I got to get one of those.
I've got this one. I've got Clip on Comics, and I've got Brotherload. I'm ready.
Yeah. Now, some people do that. Like I don't intentionally try to not be vulgar, and I don't intentionally try to be vulgar. But I do ask everybody on our live streams, wait 5 minutes before you start. Apparently, like, that's a thing. I don't know. But who cares?
Rob, just be you. Morning. So I'll tell you a funny one. I had Lady Fantastic on several weeks ago, and I used that video, and I did a YouTube promotion on that video, right? And YouTube wrote back. It got like 4 views, and YouTube wrote back and was like, "This does not align with our policies." And I was like, "Oh my God!" They were like, "No." I was like, "Oh." I'm like, Caroline, we're too spicy for YouTube. We're too spicy.
Yeah, YouTube. They can be some squares sometimes. 100%. The very first time I had Mia on, Mia Cosplay. She's a writer, and if anybody knows who she is, she's kind of a big deal in that world. And first time I had her on, I had like an image of her as Vampirella, and YouTube's like, you can't use that thumbnail, bruh. And I'm like, why? Like, what's wrong with it? And I basically just cropped out her tits, and
of course,
everything was fine. Everything was fine.
Yeah, I mean that's how you got to roll in this atmosphere.
Meanwhile, you got Scotty just like doing dirty comics all day long on his channel.
It's erotica. He does not kick it off immediately in like the first 3 minutes or so, and he's doing it all right. He's checking all the right boxes for it. But boy, I was like, have you been appreciating that series? I think that series is wonderful.
I have, because those are some of my favorite creators and some great comics. I love anything that is considered like subversive and transgressive and counterculture, shit like that, underground. I like that. I like stuff like that. So he talks about a lot of comics that I actually own, including Cherry Pop-Tart. It's one of my favorites. So thank you, Two Gun, for kicking off my collection of those.
That's amazing. The only ones I have one of the gay comics. One.
Oh yeah, I got the Oh man, I got oh my goodness, why am I not thinking of his name right now? Howard Cruz? Yeah, Harold and Maude and not Harold and Maude, that's a movie. God, what's that comic
I was
called?
almost with you.
I got it. It's in the other room. But then, of course, Stuck a Rubber Baby. That's really good stuff. But he was the editor of gay comics back in the day. That's really good stuff. That's really good stuff. Thank you, Two Gun. You're great. You're beautiful. Howard Cruz, I think, is his name. He was like one of my buddy's mentors. Let me double check on that. Yeah, Howard Cruz. Howard Cruz's work was great. He was like the editor of gay comics. And Wendell, Stuck Rubber Baby is amazing. Stuck Rubber Baby is up there with Mouse and Watchmen and Dark Knight Returns to me, and nobody ever talks about it. It is that important of a work for comic books as literature in particular. His artwork is amazing. The story is really deep. He was a gay man who grew up in Birmingham, Alabama during the civil rights movement, right? And that's what Stuck a Rubber Baby is about. And it's not an easy read, but it's a beautiful and poignant and very important story that everybody should go check out.
That's incredible. And also, and shocking for me that I'm not aware about it, and it's going on the to read list immediately.
Yeah, Stuck Rubber Baby. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
All right. That's it. It's there. Amazon. It's happening. Oh my God. Spanish. Mundos Diferentes. I'm in. You know. Oh, translation by Diego Garcia Cruz. I'm in. It's happening. That's it. My money is burning my hole.
There you go. Yeah, Phil's down. Hell yeah. That's
right.
A great book. I got to do like a video on it or something. It's underappreciated, I think. It is literally up there with Mouse, like as one of the greatest pieces of art.
Because the most appalling part of this right now is that two heteronormative people are telling me about it and that I don't know. And it's a Latino creator, a Latino and queer creator. And it's not on my radar. Like the hole in my chest from the sadness this is giving me. Oh my God. Well, you know what? Okay, so you cannot answer Howard Cruz for this question. Who are some of your biggest influences in the pop culture commentary community?
In the pop culture commentary community.
Yeah. You know what? That sounds too clinical. But like, before you got into this for yourself, like, who did you truly admire?
Before I really started getting into this, like one of our biggest earliest influences when we started Pop Culture Philosophers, which was almost 10 years ago at this point, was Good Mythical Morning, Rhett and Link. Like, I loved watching their show in those days where they would do like the taste tests, and they would do like things where they would like make food items and they would add in blood and stuff like that. Like, just, I loved them. So I really paid attention to them. And just kind of the way that they had their banter back and forth. So they were a big deal to me. Honestly, one of the biggest influences was like Kevin Smith audio commentaries for his movies, like Clerks and Mallrats and Chasing Amy in particular. That kind of helped us just being like, we can do that. We can just do like a podcast, and we can, just talk, and we can just be funny and stuff like that. So Kevin Smith was a big influence, I would say. And Good Mythical Morning, Rhett and Link, but also, honestly, like a lot of sportscasters, man, like Dan Patrick, Scott Van Pelt. Like, these were people that, like, I always wanted to do a show like Sports Center, but for comics, right? So honestly, sports radio, Dan Patrick in particular, like people like that were big influences on me.
That's fantastic. You know, it's so funny because, of course, I'm not really a sports person at all. Which, like, watching the fight last night is like an exceptional thing. So right? But like, I'm not really a sports person, so I never thought of like sports commentary. And like last night was like only the second time in my entire life where I really thought like I'd be really good for color commentary. I'd be great, especially UFC, because I keep a boner count when I'm watching UFC. I'm like, oh, they've got erections. Look. I'm like, I'm getting like all excited, you know? I was just like, you see what happens when they wrestling like that? I was like, ooh, you know? But no, that's really cool because, like, you know, like I like whatever, take it for what it is. And people usually laugh, and I don't give a crap, right? Because my biggest influence for this has been Oprah, right?
Okay.
Like, and it just
is there something under my seat? Hold on. Oh man, I thought there was like a prize or something under my seat. I thought you had gifted me.
No, but that's my dream, Robbie. That's my dream. So 2025, I am publishing my first comic. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't care. I don't know how much I'm going to be selling my ass in the street for, but I'm going to do it, right? And my ultimate dream is that I actually get a panel at a major con. I don't care which one, all right? I don't even care if it's sub-major. I don't care if it's not New York and not San Francisco. I don't care. I don't care if I have to go down a tier. I just want it to be a major, right? So that I can tell everyone in the room when they're about to get up, you get a slab, you get a slab, you all get a slab.
Oh, that would be great. You better film it when it happens, man.
Of course, because I want a panel. You know, maybe I would do it at Terrificon. Because, you know, I'm friendly with Mitch and he has a beautiful panel room and you know, like we can make it work.
Okay.
But first I got to get the book work. Now, here's a funny thing. I have people who will help me in nearly every stage of the book, right? But no one will publish it. Every single person I've sent it to, they're like, wow, your pitch sounds amazing. You should keep writing, blah, 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 blah. And then they always close, but we're not interested in a sex title.
Yeah.
And then I go, it doesn't have to be a sex title. It can just be homoerotic, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh no, don't compromise your vision for us. And I'm like, you mother. And then so I was just like, I swear to God. So I don't know what road I have to do to publish.
You need to self-publish, brother. That's what you need to do.
But that's more money. That's even scarier for me.
Yeah, you know? Well, you could crowdfund it and stuff like that. You can get the community behind you on something like that. That's what we're going to do. I'm working on a book right now with my buddy Kevin. We've been creating this book. It's been a slow process, but we intentionally were like, we're just going to do it on our own. We want to own it. We want to publish it, self-publish it. All of my favorite, like my heroes in this industry, you know, a lot of them started by self-publishing, you know, and I'm not saying that everybody's going to be the next Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, this big generational thing, but yeah, do it yourself. Make those comics yourself. Get them out there however you can. Package them together yourself. Hand them out. Sell them at cons. Go out there. You got a platform here to do it, bruh. You let me know. I'll help you. I'll be plugging your shit for free. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm all about people doing it themselves. That way, there is no compromising whatsoever. Tell the story you want to tell and the way you want to tell. Dude, you can do it. You got a whole platform, man.
That all these publishers, it has nothing to do with homophobia. They just don't want to see me sacrifice any of my vision.
Sure.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Do it yourself. Everybody, put a 1 out the chat if you think that Cliff should just self-publish and do it himself. Put a 2 out if you think he should buckle down and change it and soften it for the man.
Amber Alert, you're look up for Cliff Speed. Mark, I had to trim it down. You know, the friction. You know, it just, you know, you got, you know, me and my partners, we need a smooth experience. As I explained to Bleeker earlier.
I hate a man who ain't been shaved, personally.
Well,
that's a line from Near Dark, but anyway.
Near Dark. Why don't I remember that?
It's a vampire movie, 1987, directed by Catherine Bigelow, starring Bill Paxton, Lance Hendrickson. It's a great movie. It's got a terrible ending, but it's a great movie.
And Bill Paxton looked great.
Yeah. So he's a vampire, and he they go to this like shit kicker bar, and they're about to like eat on everybody, right? And he like turns this like grimy biker dude around. He just goes, "I hate it when they ain't been shaved."
But Bill Paxton looks so fucking hot in that movie. Like,
he's so slimy and just like greasy, man.
I know, but it's like a sexy slimy. Like, oh, this is gonna be hot and dirty. You know, like it's one of those things.
Like a one-time only type thing.
It is a one-time only. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what the hell you're talking about, bro. You're like in and out. Try not to get your tires slashed.
Yeah, it's gonna be right. It's gonna be hot. It's gonna be dirty. Right, run before your tires are slashed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know what? Thank you for this idea because he could inspire one of my World War II vampires.
There you go.
You know,
it's a great movie. Everybody should watch it. It's got a terrible ending. I'll be honest with you. It's like my favorite movie with the worst ending. Like I hate the fucking ending, but I love the movie. It's so good. And what's his name? Adrian Pasdar or whatever, the guy who was in Heroes.
From Heroes. Yes.
Oh, he's gorgeous, man.
He is super gorgeous in that movie. Oh my god. Oh my god! Just watch. I'm gonna just have. I'm just gonna have World War II like homoerotic vampire hunter Adrian, and you know, with grease back biker boy Bill Paxton. You know, Nemesis.
Hell yeah!
As they battle their way across Europe in the midst of World War II. You know, so in case you've missed out, I have this like World War II fantasy going on for my comic, and like. You know, everything. It's all going in. It's all going in. So like, we're gonna have people fighting the occult and the Thule Society. We're gonna have people fighting their way to the beaches of Normandy. We're gonna have people leveling concentration camps. You know.
Okay. And, it's like Gremlins 2. You're like, it's all in the fucking movie. Every zany idea we got is just in
right. But they'll all have their own adventure, right? You know. So I have I had to do, you know, thank God, like Google's like so great. So I did a lot of research on what 1930s German university life looked like, what that was like for women, how it transformed as the Nazi regime enforced more power over time, why women were in college. So women who got to go to college as the regime moved forward, it was to study agriculture, right? So my young lady, she starts off around 1933 into 34, and she's just one of the 13% of young ladies who would attend university, and she's studying sciences, and she's also a little bit of a track star, and of course she has caught the attention of the Nazi regime, because why is she so good at everything she does? She's faster than the other girls and boys. She's stronger than the other girls and boys, and doesn't that make her look like something or someone we should experiment on, right?
Yeah.
And so there's an alien component that has arrived on Earth at the time of this World War II cycle, and because pieces of it arrived all over the planet, I have people who have different experiences with this element and what it has done to them. So of course the Germans use this element to experiment on this young lady, and it changes the way her body uses electrolytes and channels energy. And that's all I'm going to say about it. And then she's amazing.
Okay. That sounds good, bruh.
Yeah. And I specifically created her character for the male crowd. Because, and of course she'll be a lesbian, but you guys seem to love that shit. So I feel like you're gonna be like that. You're gonna be reading her book like this. They're like, you're gonna love every second of it.
Yeah, just put some saucy covers on it, guaranteed sell.
Oh yeah, no, she's gonna have saucy covers. We're gonna give her a bombastic girlfriend, you know, and it's really just great. TM Nerdy in the house. Good morning. I hope I'm not missing. Trav, did I catch you? Kenneth Bird, you're here. Travis, welcome. All right. So, did I ask you enough questions? I feel like I haven't. Let's go back to fun questions.
Okay.
Let's see. Ooh. All right. What's your most hilariously gone wrong moment that you recall from pop culture philosophers? Like what hilariously do you recall going wrong in the middle of a live stream?
There's one moment in particular that really cracks me up. I don't remember what show it was. It was one of our PCP movie nights. It was one of our reviews, right? And so it was just all at once, all this stuff happened, right? What is the movie? I almost remember the movie. Anyway, we're talking about a movie. And Joe Corallo, one of our friends, he's a writer and an editor, right? He's on the show a lot. And he was talking about a movie, and he was like, oh, it's good. It's a movie that's like, I can't remember the movie, but it's something that's usually considered really well, but like, you know, it can be picked apart, right? And he was kind of picking it apart a little bit and blah, blah, blah. And then somebody in the chat I don't remember who this was, but they started basically saying that Joe didn't know what he was talking about, and this movie was brilliant, blah 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 blah, and then so that's happening. Joe sees it while I'm doing the show, right? And then Joe starts getting in an argument with this guy, and he's like, "No," he's like, "You're not like." It was really funny the way that Joe delivered it. But while that's happening, my buddy Jelani is in like internet hell, and he's like 30 seconds behind everybody. So he keeps like all like glitching and like this and and then my buddy Mike, who was supposed to be on the show, who was always late and sometimes would miss shows, he was trying to get on the show and he was having internet problems too. He couldn't like get logged in or something, and then he was sitting in the background for a while, and we're also talking shit about him. So like we're just having a normal show, and then all at once Jelani starts glitching, falls behind. Joe gets distracted by somebody in the chat. Mike's trying to pop in, so I pop him in. Then Mike's all pissed off because he's like, "Why are y'all talking shit? I'm trying to fucking." So then Jelani gets mad because he realizes he's behind. So I got 3 dudes on my stream arguing 3 different arguments all at the same time, and just the way it happened was incredibly funny. Outside of that, there was a Festivus stream one time where Jelani had gotten off of work. He came in to do the show. He drank an entire pint glass of Jameson. Then he drank another entire pint glass of Jameson. And this dude just slowly, you can see it happen. He just slowly deteriorates over like a 20-minute period till all of a sudden he's like, and we're about to just basically watch this dude die on camera, and we're all just laughing. So, but that one moment. Oh yeah. And then the Fables are reminding me, there was the time we did the 1 chip challenge. And I had to go and throw up after doing that for some reason. That was a fun time too. So yeah, I almost died on camera there. So that was nice.
And speaking of almost dying on camera, don't forget to check out Old Wolf's live stream tonight. It's his annual Hot Wings challenge. And, one year the stream basically, I don't know, something happened. So let's see if he survives tonight.
Hope he doesn't wind up in the hospital.
I don't think he'll wind up in the hospital, but history has told us that his wife is the real champion every year. So please check that out this evening if you're free to. And of course, at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Only Slabs with Rob Fatstacks and Chris the Comic Vet, which is like staple afternoon Saturday programming for me. And Bleeker's in the chat too. Don't forget to check out Comics Church with Bleeker Sundays at 10:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, that said, I'm going to move into segments because I feel like I could talk to you all day, and I just love talking to you, but people have things.
The feeling is mutual, Cliff.
Thank you. I loved our first encounter. And you're like, "What do you know about being funny?" And I was like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah, after that, I was like, "Oh, this guy probably hates me now, man."
No, that was so great. I was just like, well, no, because like clearly, like you did not know me or my shtick, and I like, I guess I'm very passionate, and that could be perceived as flying off the handle. And sometimes I do it, and I'm funny, and I think I'm funny, and then I have to wait for everyone else to realize it.
Well, the cool thing about your personality is that I could instantly pick up that I could fuck with you, and that like you would fuck back, and it would be funny, and like you wouldn't take it personal. So not everybody's like that. You know what I'm saying?
And the truth is, I can't do it with everybody. Our personalities have to match. And because there have been times where I've tried to do it with people and like our personalities don't match for it, you know? So
they're just like, what the fuck does that mean?
Right. Like I give them fire and then they like come back with triple fire. I was like, whoa, why are we escalating to triple fire? So
now you're just being mean.
Yeah, right. I was like, why did we escalate to cruelty? I was like, I'm sorry. Did you just tell me to go dig up my dog and bang it? I was like, no, why are we going there?
It's like that Seinfeld episode where he's like, "Hey, George, the ocean called. They're running out of shrimp." And then he's all like, "Well, the jerk store called. They're all running out of you." What?
Yeah.
I slept with your wife.
Yeah. And it was like, what kind of escalation is this? You know what was missing from that episode? For that guy to fire back, "I slept with your mother. Then I still smell like Kasha." That's what's missing. Oh. Kitten in a box. You know what? Kitten in a box? Like, this looks cute, but there's a double pussy reference happening there.
That's true.
You know. Oh, and do not forget this afternoon at 3 p.m. Bronze Age Nerd Heroes for Heroes charity auction for Mission 22. Please check that out as well, because we can't do enough for literally everyone and everything here. And they're really great people what they're doing. I appreciate it. I got to get back on track doing something like that. I did one a few years ago with the gentleman who created Rocket Girl with his wife. Okay. And then we got a whole bunch of, oh my God, with the baby face. You know what? I just love that I look so young. I mean, I love it. Because like Mike Tyson looked 1,000 last night in round 2. And it hurt my feelings how old he looked. It hurt my feelings. Thank you. I do need a dick in a box. So Chris from Comic Trips has stuff for auction too. Very good. Oh, my good friend Rich Davis, aka Velvet Joker. You may know him as the man who laughs, usually at Terrificon. But no, please go check out his channel and give it a shot. You'll even find where I'm his color commentary guy while we interview people like Bob McLeod. And pretty soon you'll see us with our Philbo publishing interview and much, much, much more. And eventually, possibly someone who I can't talk about because, of course, we haven't even recorded yet, so I don't want to jinx it. So, yes, please go check it out. There's great stuff over there. We have a wonderful time. Oh, also some great stuff with us and Joe St. Pierre. Anyhow, I'm going to move into Comic of the Week. So, you know what? I thought about the books of the week, but there's one book that just makes me happy that it exists. And that's issue 3 of Summer Shadows. All right? It's gay, it's bloody, it's violent, it's evil, it's supernatural, it's gayer, magicaler, everything. It's all the things. It's all the things I love. It's missing one of the things I love. I'm not going to get into it, but I love it. This boy goes he goes into the heart of the beast in this issue, and Sexy Cop Man follows him, and I love it. I love it. This book is not to be missed. If you like horror, great. If you need a queer story, great. If you like those things together, honey, baby, sugar pie, why are you not buying this? Thank you, Dark Horse, for publishing this. Thank you. All right.
Heck yeah.
My end. Do you have anything for the book of the week?
I do, man. I thought this was a pretty solid week in comics. You know, we had Absolute Batman #2. We had the end of 2 great finales with Precious Metal and Helen of Windhorn.
Oh, Helen of Windhorn. Oh.
Yeah, that was a good one. But for me, my comic of the week, my pick of the week was G.I. Joe. I am loving what they're doing with the Energon universe. I'm a big fan of Josh Williamson. I consider him a homie. This is him, Tom Riley, Jordi Belair, just killing it on an absolutely fantastic book. There's been a slow build up to this with all those 4 different miniseries, but now we got G.I. Joe here. It introduces a new character. You got the Baroness on the Joe side. You got Cobra Commander and Destro, you know, kind of like having their Cold War amidst each other. I thought this was a slam bang, fantastic book that brought back the whole Energon universe has brought back this like buoyant sense of fun to comics. And this is something that we really, really need. And Joe did not disappoint. So I think that to me is easily the comic of the week.
Amazing. Amazing. By the way, I have to agree. And you know, Baroness has a history of playing both sides, right?
Yep.
So I very much enjoyed, like, we're still playing with that, right? Because when we meet her in the miniseries, she's definitely not going to be, definitely doesn't seem like she's going to be on the side of the angels, right? And then as we enter G.I. Joe, it's like, yeah, I really think you guys are going to fuck everything up. So I'm going to go over here.
Yeah. And I love this intentional slow buildup, right? Like they did it with Transformers. They're doing it with Joe, where it's not just like you get a first issue and you're introducing like 30 characters, right? Like they're taking their time to actually do it right. Haven't even gotten into Snake Eyes. And of course, just like in Transformers #1, a fan favorite just gets taken out quick. So like, I loved it. I thought it was great. Really good stuff. I'm looking forward to where it's going.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you're not getting, this is not the comic you were expecting, you know, right off the bat. They're like, yeah. You know, I got the cover with what's her face, one of the newer Joes. She's got like, I don't know, what is she, cover girl or social media chick, or I don't know, whatever her code name is.
Well, cover girl's like old school, so yeah, maybe it's the cover girl one.
Maybe it's the Brett Booth one. I just keep forgetting her name because I'm awful. But here, let me whip it out since my weekly comments are at my disposal.
Cliff's whipping it out, y'all.
That's right, you heard it here first. Don't forget to go to my OnlyFans, click on comments. And I'm sorry.
We should bring the comic community into OnlyFans. We've been trying to do that for a while.
The comic community is in OnlyFans. Surprise, surprise.
Oh, nice. We got to join it then.
So, because a lot of the gay porn stars I admire, or follow, or associate with, or whatever it is we're calling it, they love comics. You know, don't get them started on X-Men. You will have the fight of your life, and they're jacked too. So this is you're not playing games. You know, they're like, you're like, nah, bunch of homos. Oh shit, he can fight. It's like, nah. And this one's got guns.
There you go.
So, I was like, oh, y'all want to play? I was like, I'll make you remember. All right. So that was our comic of the week. Thank you. Which means we can get into my next favorite segment, the BussyBusters. So I have several short box wins, which, do you ever have regrets about that? Because I know I certainly do. So one regret I have with short box is when they'll do like, it's like, oh, look, it's open season. It's X universe titles. And you're like, oh, well, they're all like $1. Let me start bidding on $1. And then like, but it's different people. So like you get slapped around by all these different shipping fees. And sure, you still paid about $2 a book, but you're really mad at yourself because if you had just been more concise with who you stuck with, it would have been less shipping bills. And so that's a micro beef I have with Shortbox. The other one I have is, why can't I select multiple things from one vendor that's under Buy It Now and then just have the shipping bundled? I feel like why do we not live there? Like when you in the bidding, you could do it. So I bid on all those dollar issues and then it all went to one place and I got my invoice and good to go. But why can't we do that with Buy It Now? But anyhow, these are wins. And they started at $1. They quickly escalated. One of them quickly escalated out of the dollar range. And one of them did not. But I feel like I got a really good deal on both. So the first one, which I paid no more than $4 for, and it's in exceptionally good condition, is this bad boy here.
Nice.
Which of course has the first appearance of what's his name? Sidewinder? Saddlewinder? Serpent
Oh,
Winder?
does it?
You know what I mean? The guy who John?
Is that the guy Giancarlo's playing?
Yes.
Sidewinder, I think. Oh, I didn't know that. I have that because like I try to collect all the Marvel 2-in-1s because of the Thing.
Love me some Marvel 2-in-1s, and I do love a big thing. But and the thing is like I had this on my radar for the Serpent Crown, and the day that cover price like said a word about this, there was 2 copies left on my comic shop, and I raced to purchase them, and they were gone before I made my purchase, and I was so pissed. But I got this one for under $5, and I got it from the same buyer who I won this other bad boy from on the back.
Nice.
And here's my true Bussy Buster, my Uncanny X-Men 129, or X-Men 129, depending on what it should be. And it is a newsie, not that I think anyone cares, because I think this is from the era of where newsies were super common, you know? Yeah. But I mean, beautiful cover, chock full of first appearances, big check off my X-Men list. Very proud of it.
That's very cool. Great pickups.
It was amazing.
All right, for mine, so I do a show on Mondays before we do PCP movie night. We do the show on the EXP with Dynamite, right? It's like a claim sale, but just a bunch of bullshitting and talking and stuff. And they do commission cover art sales on there a lot. And that community in that chat is amazing because they will like if there's like a bidding war on something, someone will always be like, oh no, you got it. Or if somebody claims something that somebody else wanted and they're like, oh man, I was too slow on that. They'll be like, oh, you can have it. And they're so nice and they buy things for each other all the time. Right. And so I've had a couple of things bought for me from some of the chat, including this one. This is an Avenging Spider-Man #1, but they're blank covers. But this has got a Blade commission cover art on there by Tony Scott. Ooh. And I'm a huge Blade fan. So that's freaking awesome. And that's just gorgeous. So that was given to me by Corey, I believe. And I think Dwayne's a Pain got me this one. It's a Venom #1 by Dan Neidlinger, right? But that's so cool. It's a recreation of one of my favorite Venom covers by Eric Larson right there. Yeah. So both of these were bought by people in the chat on the Claim Show and sent to me. Original artwork on blank covers. Dope, cool stuff. So I just got these in over the last couple of weeks.
Normally I save this, but
I like that.
Woo! I'm impressed.
Well, thank you. I'm glad I could be impressive.
Excellent stuff. All right. So that was our BussyBusters. All right, before I move into Rated or Hated, let's see what else I had on this list. Ooh. Oh, here's a good one. What do you think? And we'll be fair. We'll from 1990 to 2024, what do you consider to be the most horrible remake in film?
Huh. From 90 to today, basically.
Yes.
Well, The Fog is pretty shitty. The Fog's pretty bad. The Fog remake with our boy Tom Welling, right?
And he really wanted it to be good. He really did.
Yeah, but it wasn't. So I would say that one for sure. Is there anything else I can think of? Remake. I know there's got to be something.
You know which one hurt my feelings because I wanted it to be good, and then it did exactly the opposite of the movie that made it great. And it's probably not the worst. It's just that it felt like a personal attack. Suspiria.
Okay. See, I'm a huge Suspiria fan. I'm a huge Suspiria fan.
Yo, so the remake is terrible. So
and everybody loves it. Everybody loves it.
They need to go to hell. They need to go to hell in a flaming police car. Let me tell you, what made the first Suspiria so great was the cinematography and the environment. Every room was gorgeous, eye-catching. Every scene was its own. The environment was part of owning and capturing the scene. And this remake was dull and cold as fuck. What happened? Why would you lose that beautiful? Why? I can understand, we're not going to use the same location, blah, blah. But why such a cold environment? And then I figure, they want to use that cold environment to lend to their storytelling. But they didn't. And people like this garbage. I was so offended by this remake. Again, that may be a little bit too strong for some of you, but
no, I 100% agree, man. Because I heard everybody I don't know, on paper the idea seemed good, right? Like Mia Goth's in it. What's the chick's name? Is Dakota something, right? Right? It seemed good on paper. Like Tom York's doing the soundtrack, and I'm like, okay. And then I watch it, and I'm like, this is bland, boring, and it just feels like it's trying to be elevated, right? Or something like that.
Dakota Johnson, Chloe Grace Moretz from Kick-Ass, Tilda Swinton. We've got everybody we need here. Jessica Harper's in there. She's freaking great.
Yeah.
For what? Just nothing. It just fizzles.
Tilda Swinton, right? She's amazing. And there's elements, but I am Suspiria is my favorite movie. If somebody goes, "What's your favorite movie of all time?" I go, "Suspiria." And they're like, "Oh, I watched it." Like, no. The 1977 one. I got a poster in my hallway. I watch it at least once a year, if not twice a year.
It's one of
Anytime
my
anybody I know is covering it in the movie review sphere, like I got to get on the channel, right,
Yeah.
to talk about it. And I felt bad at first. I was like, I feel bad because maybe everybody loves this movie. I'm not digging it. Is it because I just can't let go of the original? I'm sure that's part of it, but
Probably.
it just didn't. Why you want to remake that one? You know, that's a good one, but I wouldn't say it's like a inherently bad movie.
Like another movie could be like bad, and I'm like, oh, it's not for me, and I just walk away. But this was like, oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, I agree with that one. Also, some more that just popped in my mind was the Haunting in 1998.
I love The Haunting. That's my other favorite. Oh my god, Robbie, Suspiria and The Haunting are my top two. And The Haunting is so good because the gothic element of the environment and a simple, the use of practical effects was so creative, and I still get chills when I watch that shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we need to watch horror movies together. Where are you?
Hell yeah.
Let's do a horror night. I'll fly to you or drive to you. We gotta make it happen.
Sounds good. I'm down. I'm always down. That's one of my favorite things to do is have people over and we just have good food and snacks and good drink and smoke, and we watch horror movies. That's what we do.
I'll make my all bean chili.
All right, sounds great. It's a plan. Listen, it's got to happen. We're gonna have to film it for the people too, because they don't think it's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen. And yeah, we should totally get Cliff on a PCP movie night.
What state are you in?
Alabama.
Oh, fudge.
It's a long drive. Where are you up in New York, right?
Yep. Let me start planning the travel time. Let's see. Good Lord.
That's probably like a 15-hour drive.
Let's review. It's like the fact that Google is swirling, you know. Yep. You have 16 hours and 24 minutes on a good day. Yep. With clear traffic. Okay. All right. So yeah.
So it's a little bit of a trek. Maybe we meet halfway. get an Airbnb.
Who are we gonna find? Who are we gonna meet halfway?
I don't know. We'll bring some people. Like we can just pick an Airbnb somewhere and everybody just converges and we have a movie night.
Oh my god, no! Because then we're asking people to spend money, and we could just inconvenience me. I'll just fly to you, and then like that's it. Unless you want to go to what do you call it? We go to Georgia. We snatch Legion of Comics. We grab Brian.
Yeah, Scotty's up in Chattanooga. There's a lot of people around me. So,
or we just go to Tennessee and we grab Scotty and Lady Fantastic and we have a real bomb ass movie night.
Yeah, that sounds. Either way, we'll work out the details. But I love the original Haunting, and I thought the remake was really, really bad. And also Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake sucks. On that,
I interviewed him once.
Who?
Jackie Earl Jr. Right?
Oh, okay.
Right, and he's lovely. And he's like, we were really trying. And he goes, I guess it didn't resonate. And I was like, and it wasn't you. I want you to know it wasn't you. I was like, they needed to do more, but you were doing the work, man. I was like, you were delivering Freddy. They just didn't know how to use you. It's kind of like when I met Henry Cavill. I was like, oh my god, I love you. And I was like, and they just didn't know how to use you. I'm so upset for you on this. Also, like people think I'm weird because I didn't like that the Nightmare on Elm Street remake leaned into Freddy being a child predator, so much of him just being a child murderer. And I'm like, but I want him to be a child murderer, I was like, because I want him to be unforgivably monstrous, like by him, like, but because sexual predators, it's usually a terrible psychological problem. Don't make me relate to evil villains. I was like, no.
Yeah. And Freddy's one of those characters that becomes kind of a fun character, right? And you don't want that. I mean, you can have a fun child murderer, as odd as that sounds.
Right, because you're like, well, he's just funny and evil and that's it. But you're like, oh no, he's sick and twisted and demons corrupted his soul further. And here we are, And then of course, it doesn't even make sense because if he is if he is a child predator, why is he coming after teenagers? Right? Because the true Nightmare on Elm Street would be really young children having to survive these horrific events. You know? And nobody actually wants to see that on screen because that would be fucking...
Yeah.
Like, I don't ever think we're going to see Something is Killing the Children in live action because I don't think people can handle that much. I think they can handle one scene, one movie, one kid, but I don't think they can handle all this, you know? Yeah. Where like if there's multiple this kid gets slaughtered storylines.
You're seeing it more and stuff nowadays though. You're seeing it crop up a little bit more. Because you got to push that boundary, right? Yeah, the 80s were crazy.
You know what? We keep, you know, Cliff is a great guest for all occasions. Thanks, John. I've never seen Cliff pop like, hey, thank you. So, like, I can't believe that, like, two of my favorite horror movies are two of your favorite horror movies. Like, I'm gonna go out on a limb here. And I hope you feel the same way I do. The original Alien film.
It's the best one.
Oh my God, Robbie, I love you so much.
It's the best one, for sure. No contest. I like 2. 2's fine. I defend 3. I defend 3, actually. I like 3. Yeah. Resurrection stinks.
I like about 3. Yeah.
Resurrection stinks. I've never seen any of the AVPs.
Yeah, and, you know what? How about this? In Resurrection, there's one scene that I think is phenomenal. Can you guess what that is?
No. Is it the basketball scene?
No, that's funny. No, when she goes in with the flamethrower to destroy her mutated clone self.
Okay. All right.
That scene doesn't justify the whole movie, but that scene is so good.
The scene I like is when they have to like swim to like through this section and there's like aliens swimming with them. Like that's a very tense scene for me. I think it's well done, but yeah, that's a bad movie, right? But I also like Covenant and Prometheus, and I thought Romulus was pretty good, but the original is...
You know what? Romulus is solid, and Romulus gave me the feels of the original film.
Yes, it brought back the horror roots of the franchise, you know?
Right. And that's what I really appreciate. Kevin in the house this morning. Good morning.
I do like Robbie part 3s.
Robbie, you know what? I also like part 3s, particularly Dream Warriors in the Freddy franchise.
Oh, Dream Warriors might be my favorite movie in the Elm Street franchise for sure. Yeah, my favorite Child's Play movie is 3, but if we count all of Chucky, it's Bride of Chucky, which is technically 4. But the one's called Child's Play is part 3. I love Friday the 13th part 3, but it's not my favorite. I love Halloween 3. Halloween 3 is great, underappreciated. Yeah, I guess I do like part 3s.
Yep, that's fantastic. And oh my God, I love Dream Warriors. And also, one of my first... oh no, I might be gay is Joey from Dream Warriors.
Okay.
You know? And I was just, and also I was like a young, I'm discovering myself as a queer person. The fact that Dream Warriors, it's not a damsel in distress, it's a boy in distress. You know? I'm like, oh, the boy. Like it's just like every...
You're talking about that's part 2, right? That's Freddy's Revenge.
No, he's super gay. Right, but I didn't see. My young self didn't see Freddy's Revenge, and that kid is manifesting Freddy, and that movie's super gay and has a whole gay subtext to it and everything. No, the third one is Joey is captured by Freddy and used as bait for his friends, and you have to rescue a boy. Like that's really neat.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, you are right. Because I was thinking Patricia Arquette, you know, is like being like the one.
We don't have to rescue Patricia Arquette.
You're right.
You know, she's one of our heroines. She's one of the beautiful final girls who comes to the rescue. You know,
you're perfectly right.
So like the things that I don't even know if they were thinking about it. 9-panel grid. They say it's underrated. I agree. Again, not my favorite, but you know, a little underrated. And also like a little too philosophical. And I think that maybe that's the problem with Alien Covenant. You know, like sometimes
I wanted to see Ridley do the third part of that though, right? I think it was supposed to be called like Paradiso or something like that. But like I really wanted to see that. I do appreciate that Romulus tried to tie some of that stuff up, but I don't know. Romulus was good though. I liked it.
Yeah. Romulus was really good. They really tried to make setting happen. And I love that all the technology in Romulus echoed the technology of Alien and Aliens.
Yes. They didn't like upgrade it just because they
Not
could. It still
no.
looked, it was great.
They're like, let's make this look as good as possible.
And the dude who plays the android was brilliant in that movie. Absolutely stunningly brilliant. That was a great performance.
Hip Hops and Me is going to be my first guest for Comics and Cocktails with Cliff next week, because I will not be available Saturday morning. So you can join us Friday evening, and that's going to be lovely. So on my non-Saturday morning weeks, you can look forward to more Comics and Cocktails. And clearly, I will have to do a special Comics and Cocktails with Robbie when I go to Alabama, so we can do our horror festival. Let's put that on the calendar.
Sounds great. Let's do it. I'm always down.
The fact that you love the movies that I love is just oh my god. We're
men of taste. We're men of taste.
We also got to pick a movie that we hate that we got to watch together so we can break it apart. I do want to say this about The Haunting remake. It is awful, but it's the kind of awful where I can laugh at it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, okay.
And also Catherine Zeta-Jones is so hot. It still didn't make me gay, but it did make me question if I wanted to be a woman.
Yeah, okay. There was a good 3-year period there where she was like the hottest thing on the planet, dude. Like Entrapment and that.
Entrapment with the lasers, and her ass going from the lasers. Oh my god,
dude, that was in every trailer, dude. It was just like it should have been the movie poster, man.
Fable is suggesting Burial Ground. Oh my.
No, that's we're not gonna do that one. Fuck that movie.
It's that bad?
I don't know. Maybe I should. I mean, I own it, so maybe I should revisit that one.
Revisit the horror, and not that it's horror or the horribleness.
It's a little bit of a. Let's just say that's the movie that broke apart one of our favorite shows that we all used to do together. So.
Oh, wow. That's saying a lot. That is saying a lot. Where it's like, yeah, we can't. This sub show that we're doing, yeah, it's over. We won't be coming back to this, folks. We kind of had our moment, and that moment has absolutely passed. So
yeah, that's a great way to describe that.
Wow, unbelievable. This is amazing. All right, let's see. Wow, and just think, all open with. Oh, let me ask you another fun question. Let me ask you another fun question. Ooh. All right, can you handle some rapid fire answers?
Yeah.
All right. Rapid fire. If Batman had to take a part-time job, what would it be?
Parking attendant.
Like it. What job would Deadpool get fired from in the first hour?
Parking attendant.
Any answer would have been appropriate for Deadpool. If the Avengers started a band, who would be the lead singer and what genre would they play?
Iron Man, and it would be like new wave, 80s new wave, like Devo.
80s new, and you don't think there'd be a little bit of splash of metal in there at all?
No.
Because I feel like they would do a cover of I Am Iron Man.
No, they would do like a Devo version of it, kind of like when Devo did Satisfaction, or Head Like a Hole.
So it would be like,
I am Iron Man.
Oh, one of those. I am Iron Man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, kind of like the Cardigans did a great cover of Iron Man, right? By the way, which is it's kind of like subverting the whole thing. It's really good. If you've never listened to it, listen to their version.
Oh my god, I have not. I have absolutely not. Oh my lord, what is happening? I'm saving. I'm pulling that up to save right now. Oh, damn it! I lost my premium YouTube. How dare I? Okay. He was chained to steel. Okay, I could dig it. All right. Who would make a better babysitter? Tony Stark or Doctor Strange?
Doctor Strange, for sure.
Who would be a better stand-up comedian? Aquaman or Captain America?
Aquaman.
Who would throw the best surprise party? Superman or the Flash?
Superman. He'd really care about it.
It's true. And they both have super speed.
So Flash would still be late, though. It's kind of one of his things, right?
Exactly, because that is Barry's problem. If Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had to fight the Power Rangers in a dodgeball match, who would win?
Are the Power Rangers powered up?
No. They're in regular what do you call it? What Angel Grove. They're in their Angel Grove civilians.
Okay. Then the Turtles for sure.
Okay. What is the one song you think Iron Man listens to on repeat when he's alone?
What's that fucking you don't know how it feels to be the bad man.
I like it. Oh my God, I feel like we've already seen this movie. If Godzilla and King Kong teamed up to make a buddy cop movie, who is the tough cop and who is the comic relief?
Godzilla would be the comedic relief. King Kong would be the tough guy.
All right. Which superhero has the worst costume design and desperately needs a fashion upgrade?
Speedball.
Yes. Although I gotta tell you, when drawn correctly, it looks absolute fire. You know.
Okay.
Like, have you ever seen it where like it looks like chainmail and like the sparkles of energy off of it? That's the best.
I was more of a Penance fan myself, so but I'm a big New Warriors guy, and Speedball's costume always annoyed me.
Yeah. No, right? Like it was always so basic, you know. But I always also have like a lot of heart for Speedball. I also wanted Speedball to hook up with Marvel Boy, but now I love Vance and Angela. I want him and Firestar to live happily ever after.
Yeah,
and have,
that's
I want them to have mutant babies. I want them to have baby mutants. I want it so bad. All right, if Thor were to design his own clothing line, what would it be called?
This is supposed to be rapid fire, Robbie. You're supposed to like pop these off. If Thor had a clothing line, what would it be called? It'd be called Thorwear.
Okay.
That's so basic. I'm sorry.
I also would have accepted Hammer Drop and Thunderstruck. Which pop culture villain would get the most complaints from human resources?
Dracula.
Nice.
Thunderwear, that's a good one.
Yes. If a famous superhero had to live with your grandmother for a week, who would struggle with it the most?
Night Thrasher.
And who would struggle with it the most? Night Thrasher or your grandma?
Night Thrasher.
Oh my God. If Mario from Super Mario and Sonic the Hedgehog entered the Great British Bake Off, who would be the star baker?
Oh, Mario for sure.
Right, because he's Italian.
Yeah.
All right. Who would be better? I like my answer. Who would be better at writing poetry, Darth Vader or Magneto?
I think it would be Magneto, because I think Magneto would actually have like a literary sense about him, but Darth Vader's, he seems like he would make like sad boy poetry in the vein of like trying to be an Edgar Allan Poe or something like that. So I think it would be more cringe from him.
Yeah. I'm giving it to Magneto because you know that shit would be fire. You know?
He can cut a promo. You're really a fool, Charles.
Yeah. Charles, I always thought that we were mirror images of one another. But as time has gone on, I've only seen that one thing is true, that your inability to see the humans for what they truly are, to understand that they know better, is to be foolish, Charles, because tolerance of their intolerance will be our extinction.
Yeah.
But that was some thoughts. That's
and Vader would just be like,
I love you, Padme.
I love you, Padme. I miss you every day. I don't know why I let this. I don't know why I was so desperate for a father figure that I allowed all these atrocities to take place. I murdered younglings, and let's just be honest with ourselves. I straight up murdered children. I'm no better than Freddy Krueger. And
yeah, he would just have this like very trite, painful poem about sand.
yeah, exactly. Oh my God. So like I got all excited and I completely forgot. Rate it or hate it, baby. So rate it or hate it is where we usually go down the retrospective of the stuff that Cover Price dug out of the well from previous years as to what was hot then and how do we feel about it now. So as for the usual, rate it or hate it is a scale of 1 to 5 stars. So 3 being like, sure, it's cool. 1s and 2s being like, there's a following for this. 4s being like, 3 is like, I'd like to have it. 4 is like, I absolutely have to have it. 5 is like, I'd love to have it. It's a great investment. You could flip this it checks every single box for the 5. And then of course, if you just say hate it, we're just not going to rate it. And that's how it's going to go. So first up from the number 10, listen, this is a 2-year retrospective from Cover Price at this point in November. First up is Avengers number 6 on the list. And that is there because who knows? We got old man Maestro happening here. Let's see. This book features the first appearance of T'Challa's son, Azari. Oh, that's why. All right, sir. Rate it or hate it?
2. I'll give it a 2.
It's a 2.
Yeah, I don't think it's like an essential buy, and who knows where the MCU is going to go. But I think basically if you're buying this book to like spec on MCU hype, I think that time's kind of over right now.
Yes. But if you're a Black Panther completionist.
Yeah. And it's a pretty decent solid run of Avengers, Bendis and Romita Jr. It's not too bad.
Absolutely. I mean, the Romita Jr. part is horrible, but I will never. And I will not. And he's a lovely human being. Like, let me at least say that he's a lovely guy.
He
and
is.
What he has contributed to the comic book culture, I don't want to take that away from him. I just hate his artwork. I feel like he wrote in the coattails of his father's otherwise, and so I have issues. But he's a lovely person, and I don't want to take that away from him.
Okay.
No, I sound like the worst. Number 9 on this list.
What did you do? What did you rate it?
Oh, I agree with you on a 2.
Okay. Word.
Because I do love me some Black Panther, and if you want to be a Black Panther completionist, then I want to be there to fully support you, even if John Romita Jr.'s art is going to make me go. So for number 9, it's a book that's been on this list multiple times, and it does not need an introduction, and that book is Wolverine number 1.
5. This is one of the most important books to me in my personal life. I remember having this as a kid. Blew my mind. For some reason, I loved Wolverine and that stupid mesh mask. You got great John Buscema artwork, Chris Claremont. Yes. It's great. Like it's a book worth having, and it's easier to get than the first one with Frank Miller and Chris Claremont, right? But I love this run. I love this first arc, and I would say this is a 5, 100%.
I'm going to agree with you. I do think it's a great collectible, and it's a 5. And in fact, the fact that it's taken a little drop in recent time just means it's a great time for you to snatch it up. Because Wolverine, collecting Wolverine is just like Wolverine himself. It will regenerate.
Yes.
All right. The next one is an introduction comic. Again, it does not need a big introduction. It's the first appearance of Riri. As we know, this was for Wakanda Forever was coming, Riri was coming, and this book shot up. So, Invincible Iron Man number 9, rate it or hate it?
I'll go with 3 on this one. It's decent. It's another Bendis book, so that's funny. But Riri Williams, I don't think that the Ironheart show is going to have as much of an impact as initially was thought when this book really started climbing up. But it is a first appearance of a generational character that is going to have legs in the future. So, if you want to get the first appearance, this is a good time to get it too, because look at that drop over 2 years. So, and we're closer to the show now. The show's happening, but the interest just isn't there. So if this would be a good time to pick it up if you haven't already, if you want it.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, no, I agree with you entirely. I actually like Riri a lot, and I really appreciate the early Ironheart series. I'm going to go 4, and definitely think it's a good time to snatch this up. Oh, the next one is very interesting, and of course, I'm biased because I love Superman so much. And that is the Superman number 75, 30th anniversary, 1 in 25 variant. You know, the death of Superman is an iconic cultural moment for me in my childhood and my middle school years, because they occurred during my 8th and 9th grade years of you know, junior high school and entry into high school. So that's my bias, sir. Rate it or hate it.
I'll give this one. I think it's really cool. Very. Does the cover like fold out as or
Yes.
something? It
Yeah.
does. That's cool. Okay, I'll bump it up to a 3 because that's cool.
Yeah.
If you're a big Death of Superman fan, if that was nostalgic for you, because it is for me too. Like I remember waking up, they were talking about it on the radio. I was begging my dad to take me to the shop to pick it up. They were already sold out, but they had one saved for us, and it's a great memory. It's attached to a wonderful time in comics in my life. But you can easily just go and get the original, you know, and like go get the 4th printing, which most people have. They bring it into comic shops all the time, thinking they've got like thousands of dollars on their hand. But I'll give this.
You can easily find first printing. I just want to assure everybody.
Yes, it's so easy to find. Just look in your dollar bins, you'll find it probably.
Do you want to know what's really funny? One time I got a win from a channel, and I got 4th printing of Doomsday's first appearance, and then I got a win from another channel a month later, and it was the 1st printing of Doomsday first appearance.
Nice.
So yeah, I have to give this. Did I say what I was going to give this already?
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I have to give it a 4 for all the reasons you said. With the bump, the additional bump is my love of Superman, my love of John. Oh my God, my love of Dan Jurgens and what he has done for Superman and comics in general, and the fact that this is a really badass cover when you actually are holding in your hand. And I'm glad I snatched it up when I did for $25, you know, when it first came out. All right, the next one. Ooh, the next one's a bit of a change up. Let's see. Hold on. Let me read the intro. The next one has to do with Wakanda Forever. All right, I understand. It's Black Panther number 2 from 2005. We're introduced to Shuri. Rate it or hate it.
I'll give this one a 3 as well. Pretty much the same thing with the Ironheart. You know, it's a cool character. She's got legs. Shuri's going to be around for a long time. The price has dropped. You know, they're doing a Black Panther 3 allegedly. I don't know if she's still going to be Black Panther. We'll see. But like I said, the MCU effect is kind of waned down significantly. So if this is a book that you're a Black Panther fan, you want to get the first appearance of Shuri, you haven't gotten it yet, now's a good time to get it because it's dropping.
Yeah. I'm going to agree with you. Absolutely. I'm going to go with the 3. You know, it definitely is one to keep your eye out for. And again, if you're a completionist for Black Panther, you probably already have this. And if not, snatch it. Get out there, grab this book while you can. Oh, man, it was hot for Black Panther back then. Next up is 2nd printing of Black Panther number 3. Wow. Oh, boy. Oh, man. All right, featuring Tosin, and of course, Tosin is on the cover here. Wow. Rate it or hate it?
Hate it.
I'm just gonna agree with you.
I mean, I don't think that character, I don't know. They haven't really done anything with it. It's a 2nd print. I get it, but I don't know. I think you're better off just skipping this. But
yeah,
I'll just say
honestly, I feel like they should line it up for the comics. My dream for Tosin in the movies was we met him at the end of Wakanda Forever, right? As Black Panther's biological child. My dream would have been for part 1 of the 2-part Avengers movie that part of Kang's plan is that Tosin is kidnapped, and one team of Avengers is actually assembled by what's her name, whose name I'm forgetting, and Shuri, where she goes to Shuri and they're like, they have my child, right? Yeah. And Shuri's like, let's call in our buddies, and then we get a hodgepodge team of Avengers that travel through time to go after Kang. you know, because I think that would be fun, right? And then of course the other, and of course I have. So this was my dream. They're one team. The Young Avengers and Iron Lad are another team, and they're fighting Kang in the present because one of the Kangs is trying to stop Iron Lad. And then the other one is the Fantastic Four go back in time to fight Ramatat with another group of loose, you know, heroes. And of course they all lose. And at the end, maybe even in an after credits, right? We're looking at the various parts of Battleworld, and we zoom in on Shuri's team and Tosin's mother, and she hears mother, and she turns, and Black Panther is approaching her, but it's full-grown Tosin. And that would be the cliffhanger as we move into Secret Wars, and then the universe is rebuilt, and then we have a fresh reboot for the movies. That was my dream, but that dream is dead now. So let's move into The Amazing Spider-Man. 2 years ago, Spider-Punk was kicking off. So let's look at The Amazing Spider-Man number 10. Hobby makes his first appearance. Rate it or hate it?
I'll go 3 on this one. I'm not super into all the Spider-Verse stuff, but it's very popular. They're doing it to death. The movies are amazing. Spider-Punk is a standout for certain.
Yes.
Great character. It seems pricey to me, but it has dropped. So, but I'll give it a 3. I think that this is a really solid character I loved him in that last Spider-Verse movie. So this is pretty dope.
I'm highly biased. I love him. I loved him in the last Spider-Man movie. I love most of the things they do with him in the comics. So I agree. I agree with a 3. Oh, next up, the main man needs no introduction. It's not his first appearance, but it is Lobo number 1.
Yeah, Lobo number 1. I'm going to give this one a 4. This one is pretty solid to have. Great Simon Bisley cover. Keith Giffen, right? So these are fun, silly, ridiculous comics that also take me back nostalgically. So I think this is a good one to have, especially for Lobo fans. And I think there should be more Lobo fans. So I'll go with a 4.
I'm agreeing with you. And of course I own it, so I feel more like special. I own a few of these. I bought them for 99 cents. I remember the time. Definitely 4 all the way. I do love me the main man. And apparently we're going to see him in the James Gunn universe. So go figure.
Heck yeah.
All right. Next one. Not a surprise. First printing of Tosin's first appearance.
This one I'll give it 2. The character's yet to prove himself. We'll see what happens. I don't know. But also just like the way that I don't know, like the way these things happen sometimes, it's like they're intentionally trying to go for the spec market, right? And yeah, this list is very telling that we're at the age of, you know, World of Wakanda or something like that, like Wakanda Forever, where people are specking on Black Panther and what's going to happen with it. But I don't know, definitely spec hype has died down. But if you're going to get the first appearance, get the first printing, is what I say. So
I'll
give this a 2.
Cover, yeah,
it is a dope cover though.
I'm actually going to give it a 3 just for the Alex Ross cover. The Alex Ross cover bumps it right up. And, you know, God, somewhere out there is an Alex Ross completionist, and God bless them, because that must feel like a never-ending battle.
That or Scotty Young completionists.
You know? Well, I know, but like that one's like rough, but I feel like Alex Ross takes it one level higher.
Yeah,
right?
You're probably right.
You know, be like all the timeless variants, you know, the hero ones, the villain ones, all the Fantastic Four covers, the Black Panther covers, the JSA covers. I mean, like, I just feel like at a certain point, you're like, oh my God. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Shop, good morning. All right. And number 1 should be no surprise, and I'm expecting high marks from you because it's the Omega Men number 3 first appearance of Lobo.
I was half expecting Fantastic Four 52 with all the Black Panther love on the list, right?
It was close, but no cigar. See, you know what was holding it back? It's Chadwick Boseman's death, right?
Yeah.
So all the spec were about who will be Black Panther.
That's
None
right.
of the spec was about the Black Panther.
Yeah, that's probably why Lobo was being spec'd on too. They thought Lobo would be the new Black Panther. But this one I'll give a 5. This is the first appearance of one of the coolest characters. If without the success of Lobo, I don't know if we wind up getting the way that Deadpool evolved, right? You know, like comic book characters that are a little bit anti-hero, but also funny and like leaning into the comedy aspect. Now, this Lobo doesn't really fully, represent the Lobo that we've come to know and love, but it's a first appearance. It's affordable, and we know that Gunn's going to be using him. He's perfect for the Gunn verse. So I'm going to give this one a 5.
Right. I can't disagree. It's a 5 for me. So like, wow, I keep rhyming when I do that. It's great. But yeah, absolutely. I'm with it. I love it. It's wonderful. So thank you for playing more Rate It or Hate It. And now our last segment is all about you. It is the 5-finger shuffle. Your assignment was 5 books, whatever that may mean to you, and the theme of your choice. So what have you got for us today, Robbie?
All right. For my theme, I'm going with remarks, right?
Ooh.
So these are books that I have gotten from the creator and had them do a piece of art in there, right? So we're going to kick it off with this Megaton Man that I have by Don Simpson. Megaton Man, super fun, silly comic from back in the 80s, kind of parodying superheroes. And there is the remark that Don Simpson did for me. So that's pretty dope. Man.
Nice.
Pretty dope. Next up, Street Angel. Street Angel is a super cool book about a homeless girl ninja on a skateboard. This is from Jim Rugg, who we know from Cartoonist Kayfabe. And look at that gorgeous remark in there from Mr. Jim Rugg. It's gorgeous.
That is.
And if you've never read this book, if you've never read any of these books, you really need to, including The Question. I'm a huge fan of The Question, and I got to meet Dennis Cowan, and I took my omnibus, and look at that right there.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Hold
on. This is worth the moment.
Absolutely, right? So it was an honor to meet him, and I was telling him like how important this book was to me. This is one of the best DC books of all time, y'all. You need to check it out. They don't like to keep it in print. DC's really good at keeping stuff in print, but not The Question. That's why I had to get these omnibuses. Whole run's done in 2 omnibuses. But I was telling him how much I loved him and appreciated his work, his grit, his texture, his atmosphere. And as I'm talking to him, he just starts doing that. He just starts drawing it, and he goes, "Flattery will get you everywhere." And so here's my Manhattan Projects, Volume 1. It's a special limited edition hardcover, and it's signed, first of all, by Jonathan Hickman. So that's cool.
All right.
But just a few weeks ago, I got to go meet Nick Patera in person, and he did me.
Holy crap, Einstein!
Yep, a nice Einstein right there. So that's pretty dope. And then tearing up the comic book world right now is Nick Dragata as the artist on Absolute Batman. But when I fell in love with this dude was during East of West. So here's my East of West hardcover with my Nick Dragata remark inside, which is pretty fantastic. Such a great artist, such a cool dude. And I have an honorable mention. I know we were only supposed to do 5, but here is Ziggy Marley's Marijuana Man, written by my friend Joe Casey, with artwork by Jim Mahfood. And then there's what Jim Mahfood did inside for me.
Wow.
Quick little skull, but I love Jim Mahfood, so there you go. Remarks by Robbie.
That was fantastic.
Rockin Robbie remarks.
I love it. Just make sure I get credit when you make that a permanent segment.
Okay.
All right. So what do you have coming up, and where can people? Well, everyone, if you're looking for him, you know where you can find him. You can find him on Pop Culture Philosophers. Who am I talking to right now? I don't know. Pop Culture Philosophers, which is linked at the top of the chat. And what do you have coming up, sir?
Well, coming up tomorrow night, Rockin Robbie Live will return. We haven't done a Rockin Robbie Live in over a month, so it's going to be nice to get in there and catch up with the chat. So that will be tomorrow night. Monday night, PCP movie night. Every Monday night, we talk about a different movie. This week, we're going to be talking about Back to the Future Part 2. We did number 1 last week, number 3 the week after this one, and now it's Back to the Future 2. So we're doing all 3 Back to the Future movies. I'm getting ready for Van Damme December, so that's going to be fun. And then weekly comic book review drops pretty much every Tuesday night, where I read a bunch of comics and let you know what I think about them. So that's what's coming up.
Love it, love it, love it. And as usual, you can find me on the Council of Comics Sunday nights, where we do movie reviews at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're in the middle of the Man with No Name trilogy, or Clint Eastwood gun trilogy. I don't know. The first one was something in money. The second one is more money. The third one I forgot the name of. I'm tired. But the point is, check it out. It's spaghetti. It's Clint Eastwood. It's spaghetti westerns. Nothing actually looks like Mexico. It's great. Like, go check that out. You can tell how thrilled I am with the current trilogy. I have to choose our next trilogy, so that has been weighing on me all weekend.
The Man with No Name. Those are great movies. Fistful of Dollars, Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Fistful of Dollars last week. Yo, Fistful of Dollars, like it's good, man. But you could clearly tell the only person who isn't being dubbed when you're watching the movie is Clint Eastwood. Everybody else is clearly an Italian actor, and they're like dubbing the lines. Like, they try to get these Italians to speak phonetically, and then like dubbed over it with English native English.
That's how they make films in Italy, man. Like, they do that. Suspiria is the same way. You know
I
this.
know. I'm so caught up in the moment and the beauty that it doesn't bother me. You know, where Man with No Name, it does not have that thrall. It doesn't have that thrall under me. I don't have this. Like, Suspiria does this to me, and like Man with No Name, I'm like,
okay. I don't know that Ennio Morricone, that music though.
Oh, the music is phenomenal. The soundtrack is legendary and should never be forgotten. Legendary soundtrack. Also, Monday nights, we do New Keys and Hot Comics in the Week. Tony Oldwolf, I have threatened him not to forget this time. He will be our guest Monday night. And Wednesday nights on the Council of Comics at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we do New Comic Book Day. And this week's guest will be Will Cup of Comics himself. So we will see him then. And of course, there is no Comics and Coffee with Cliff in the morning, but there is Comics and Cocktail with Cliff on Friday night, and that'll be me and Hip Hops and Me, Steve. So look forward to that then. And then come back here Saturday morning on the 30th for Chris the Comic Vets in our after American Thanksgiving blowout. So thank you all. Robbie, thank you a million times for being here. It was awesome.
Thank you for having me. This was fun. This was great. And thanks to the chat. Y'all were spectacular.
Amazing people. All right. Love you all. Until next time. Peace. Ooh.